Have you ever wondered what happened to Britain's great seaside towns? The ones that once echoed with laughter, brass bands, and the cries of children chasing waves with buckets and spades. There was a time when the British coast was the heartbeat of summer. Families in their Sunday best filled the promenades. Seagulls danced above the smell of salt and vinegar, and the sound of slot machines spilled out of arcades glowing in the dusk. But somewhere between cheap flights, changing tastes, and modern life, that magic began to fade. Today, many of those once bustling resorts stand in silence, ghostly reminders of summers long gone. So join us as we rewind through time to rediscover 15 British seaside resorts lost to history, once packed, now empty. And if nostalgia still pulls at your heart, then hype this video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to Britain Rewind, where the past is never truly gone. Now let's begin. Number 1. Jaywick Sands. Imagine the 1930s Essex coast, lined with holiday chalets and laughter spilling from every street. Jaywick Sands was built as a dream escape for Londoners, affordable seaside joy just a few hours away. For decades it thrived. Families sunbathed on its beaches, danced in its halls, and believed summer here would last forever. But as the jet age began, those same families boarded flights to Spain instead. Jaywick was left behind, its wooden chalets turning into permanent homes. Today, it's one of the most deprived areas in Britain, a place where faded seaside dreams meet harsh modern reality. Once a symbol of joy, Jaywick now stands as a reminder of how quickly paradise can crumble. Number 2. Fleetwood. On the Lancashire coast, Fleetwood began with promise. Founded in the 1830s as a grand seaside town, it had elegant hotels, clean sands, and proud architecture. Families came for picnics, donkey rides, and that refreshing northern sea air. But Fleetwood was caught between giants, with Blackpool's neon lights stealing the spotlight, and the local fishing industry collapsing. Its pier burned down, its funfair vanished, and the crowds stopped coming. Today, Fleetwood is more a quiet community than a tourist hub. The seafront remains peaceful, but the echoes of laughter are gone. It stands as a lesson in how competition and changing times can quietly erase even the most hopeful of towns. Number 3. Redcar. Imagine the trains rolling into Redcar station, packed with excited families from Seaside. The beach shimmered under the northern sun, and the smell of vinegar-soaked chips filled the air. In its prime, Redcar was the pride of the working class, a place of racing, arcades, and endless holidays. But as industry declined and foreign travel grew, the visitors stopped arriving. The famous entertainment centres were demolished, and regeneration efforts struggled to bring back its sparkle. Today, Redcar's beaches are still beautiful, but quiet. It's a seaside built on memories, not crowds. Redcar reminds us that even the happiest places can lose their rhythm when the world moves on. Number 4. Scarborough, Britain's first seaside resort, the birthplace of seaside holidays. Imagine elegant ladies in Victorian gowns strolling along the promenade, and horse-drawn carriages delivering guests to grand hotels overlooking the bay. For centuries, it was the destination for the North. But as the decades passed, the world changed. Foreign beaches offered guaranteed sunshine, and Scarborough's once grand theatres and pools began to close. The futurist theatre is gone now, and many hotels have faded with time. Yet the cliffs and waves still tell their story of glamour, tradition, and decline. Scarborough stands as a symbol of how even legends can fade when fashion changes. Number 5. Weymouth. On the Dorset coast, Weymouth glittered with royal prestige. When King George III declared it his seaside retreat, the town became a beacon of style and refinement. For generations, its promenade bustled with carousels, laughter, and children chasing waves. But by the late 20th century, Weymouth struggled to compete with cheap flights abroad. The charm remained, but the crowds thinned. The old hotels grew quieter, and summer felt shorter each year. Today, Weymouth still shines, but more like a photograph from the past than a living postcard. It's a place caught between memory and modernity, where history lingers in every tide. Number 6. Southend-on-Sea. Picture trains from London, packed shoulder to shoulder, carrying families eager for fresh air and seaside joy. Southend-on-Sea was their escape, home to the world's longest pleasure pier and endless summer fun. But as the allure of Europe grew, Southend's magic dimmed. The beaches grew quieter, and many of its amusements fell silent. Modern regeneration brought new attractions, yet the golden days never fully returned. Today, Southend survives with pride, but not with power. Its story captures the nostalgia of millions who once called it their second home by the sea. Once the pride of London's weekends, it's now a memory frozen in salt and sunlight. Number 7. Cleethorpes. On the Lincolnshire coast, Cleethorpes was a holiday paradise for working families. Trains poured in from across the north, and every inch of sand was filled with deck chairs and laughter. But when the fishing industry declined and air travel soared, the fun faded. The pier shrank after fires, and its fairgrounds vanished. Now Cleethorpes is quiet, charming, but subdued. It's still a lovely place to visit, but no longer the powerhouse it once was. Cleethorpes tells the tale of many small towns that couldn't keep up when Britain started flying instead of driving. Number 8. Great Yarmouth. Imagine Great Yarmouth at its peak. Piers glowing at night, arcades alive with sound, and families queuing for sticks of rock. For a century, this Norfolk gem defined the great British seaside holiday. But as the 1980s dawned, the magic dimmed. Hotels closed, fun fairs shut, and the once bustling town struggled with poverty. Today, regeneration efforts keep hope alive. The beach still sparkles and the spirit still flickers, but the golden crowds are gone. Great Yarmouth remains a bittersweet reminder of Britain's shifting holiday dreams. Number 9. Skegness. Skegness is so bracing. That famous slogan once brought thousands to the Lincolnshire coast. Families filled the Butlins holiday camp, laughter echoing across its amusements. For decades, it was the North's favourite seaside escape. But like others, Skegness fell victim to changing tastes. Foreign holidays promised heat and novelty, while Skegness's charm began to fade. Today it remains affordable, friendly, and proudly British. But the sparkle of its golden era has dimmed. Skegness reminds us of simpler times when joy didn't need a passport, only a train ticket and a bag of chips. Number 10. Seaton Carew. Once the pride of County Durham's coast, Seaton Carew thrived on day trippers seeking simple seaside fun. Families filled its promenade, and children queued for donkey rides and ice cream. But Seaton Carew never grew large enough to compete with the likes of Scarborough or Blackpool. As holiday habits changed, visitors vanished. Guest houses closed, amusements emptied, and quiet replaced the noise of joy. Today, it's peaceful and local, more memory than destination. Seaton Carew shows that not every seaside town could survive the tidal wave of change. Number 11. Clacton-on-Sea. Imagine post-war Britain. The 1950s optimism, the smell of candy floss, and Clacton's pier shining bright under the summer sun. For decades, Clacton was Essex's seaside star. But as the 1970s rolled in, foreign holidays drained its lifeblood. The iconic Butlins camp closed, and decay slowly crept in. Efforts to restore the pier and attractions helped, but the crowds never truly returned. Now, Clacton is quieter, its golden age preserved only in photographs and memories. It's a story of how fragile prosperity can be, and how nostalgia sometimes becomes the only thing left. Number 12. Rhyl, once the jewel of North Wales, sparkled with life. Its beaches, fun fairs and theatres drew thousands from across England every summer, but decline came fast. By the late 20th century, its famed Ocean Beach amusement park closed, and the town's reputation fell with it. Today, Rhyl is fighting back through regeneration, but the golden days of arcades and music halls are long gone. It remains a symbol of seaside decline and resilience, both beautiful and bruised by time. Number 13. Whitley Bay. Picture the Spanish city dome, glowing against the northern sky. Families filled the arcades, dance halls and promenades, Whitley Bay was Newcastle's answer to paradise, but by the 1980s, the lights dimmed. Spanish City closed, hotels emptied, and the laughter faded. Today, the dome has been beautifully restored, yet the crowds haven't returned. Whitley Bay stands as both a monument to the past and a quiet reminder that even beauty can't escape change. Number 14. Saltburn by the Sea. Built for the Victorian elite, Saltburn was elegance by the shore. Its cliff lift, gardens, and pier once drew fashionable visitors seeking sea air and prestige. But without modernization or major attractions, Saltburn was slowly forgotten. Now it thrives on local charm, surfers, walkers, and nostalgia seekers. It never lost its grace, only its fame. Saltburn is proof that sometimes quiet survival is its own kind of legacy. Number 15. Morecambe. Few towns capture both beauty and heartbreak like Morecambe. Once the jewel of Lancashire, it glittered with theatres, ballrooms, and the famous Midland Hotel. Then came the decline. Frontierland closed, piers fell silent, and the town slipped into economic despair. But hope is returning, with the Midland restored and the Eden Project North promising revival. Morecambe's story is one of loss, endurance, and rebirth. It reminds us that even when a town fades, its spirit never truly dies. And so ends our journey along Britain's forgotten coastlines. Towns that once sang with joy now whisper their stories to the wind. These places remind us how quickly the world changes. A generation ago, they were the centre of British life, full of laughter, romance, and community. Today, they stand as living memories, frozen between nostalgia and time. But perhaps that's what makes them beautiful. Their resilience, their silence, their history etched in every wave that touches the shore. Which of these seaside resorts surprised you most? If you enjoyed this glimpse into the past, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more journeys through Old Britain, only on Britain Rewind.